we're going to be here for a while, so this let's put this right there. And let's continue with our work slowly. Yes, answering all your crypto questions. I'm not hearing you. Maybe you can write write a comment or something. Write your questions in a comment. Yep. Leave your questions in the comment. What is anything about crypto? I'll be answering them. Since you're not asking, let me ask you mine. Forex trading. Yep, I'm still learning forex trading, but I can still ask your questions. Maybe I might know something. So forex trading with Binance. What question do you have? I mean, exactly what question do you have? Okay, now I don't know if you guys are. I don't know if you guys are hearing me clearly, but if you're not, I can simply connect the wireless microphone. But I'm sure you must be hearing me clearly. I know there is some background noise, but we'll work with that. We'll work with that in the meantime. So, what is your question, brother Zenifex? What's your question about the Binance? Is it? Yeah, I know you said about forex trading in Binance, but what is the exact question? Yeah. Someone had a question about Binance, but I need to get you clearly what the exact question was. Questions. You send through your questions. Trust wallet. What's your question about the trust wallet? I have it. I like it too. Oh, your trust wallet is your favorite one. Yeah, trust wallet, not bad one. I like it. Trust wallet. One of the um, let me get to my studio. me get my yep, now I can see it. Okay, so Trust Wallet is one of the, it's called something called a non-custodial wallet, and what that means is it's directly connected to the blockchain network. We used to have wallets that were not connected to the blockchain. Like we used to have wallets in the Binance, but the wallet was actually in the account, not like connected on the blockchain. And that's why those like Binance, they created a wallet, the non-custodial wallet. They created the Binance wallet, the actual crypto wallet, which is directly connected to the blockchain. So Trust Wallet is one of the best. I agree with you completely. Available on mobile and desktop. Of course, we have talked about the Trust Wallet in our last post. It's called the best 10 crypto trading wallets. Yeah, on the website at Mugabe Imran. Also on the YouTube channel right here, you can check it out. So definitely, Trust Wallet is one of the best ones out there. So sorry about the background noise, but I'm sure within a few minutes it will be cleared. I'm going to trust, and by the way, I like what I like about the Trust Wallet is also the user interface and the ability to easily select the chains. It's called the different chains. So they call this the multi-chain. So you can be able to switch between the different blockchains, and I think they also have the features of staking. Yeah, they have the staking and the NFTs, and yeah, because this Trust Wallet is connected to most of those NFT marketplaces like the Rarible, like the OpenSea, like the what else? What other market? By the way, also talk about the marketplaces on the website if you want to check that out. We have a full list of those, and something also to take note of: if you are using a desktop and you're using the Trust Wallet, you can download the what you call the Chrome extension, so you can use it in your browser like an extension. Like extension can it's like a plugin, so you can simply have it like a pop-up up there in your browser. Whenever you want to access crypto, you can just tap it. Very easy to access. So that's and all this stuff we are talking about, I've showed you on the YouTube channel how to create the wallet extension, how to install it, how to get started, all that stuff. So it's called Yuri Ivan. Great man, thanks for sharing. Thanks for sharing Trust Wallet. I really love it. Oh, you didn't Trust Wallet. Yeah, of course. Trust Wallet does the extension, just like the MetaMask wallet. And if you watch that video of MetaMask on the YouTube channel, you'll be easily, you'll be, you'll have all the basics. You'll have all the knowledge to install the Trust Wallet wallet extension in your browser. Yeah, so it's definitely available. The Trust Wallet extension for your browser. And there's also something called the swapping. You probably know about it. So let's say you have like you have a certain coin, let's say you have Bitcoin but you want Ethereum very quick, you can simply exchange it for, you can exchange your Ethereum for Bitcoin, just a few clicks, few taps. That's what we call the swapping. And a lot of other stuff. Let me share this with you in the comments section. Oh, and Yuri, Evan, I don't know if you are one of our subscribers. If you are not, you should definitely subscribe right away before you go any further. So you want a wallet extension, right? Let me look for this wallet extension. But if you know about the MetaMask wallet extension, then you probably, so when you're transferring from exchange, when you're transferring from exchange, any other exchange to Trust Wallet, so it depends on which. Yeah, sure, thanks for the subscribe. So it depends on the platform that you are using. As I said, Trust Wallet is one of the ones with a very good user interface, but you might find some networks whereby you have to look for that option of choosing the correct network. Okay, so it depends which net. You have to be specific. What exchange are you talking about? So we have like three. I think we have two to three tutorials about wallet extensions on the YouTube channel. But if you just watch one, it will be enough for you to uh, work on wallet extension for any other wallet. So let me just share with you one for Binance. All right, there you go. Trust Wallet. So Trust Wallet is one of the Web3 wallets. Let me listen to small audio here. Okay, who else has a question? Who else would like to share their favorite crypto wallet? Oh, again, Yuri Evan, thanks for sharing. Let me share with you another link. Now, this is the link to the best crypto wallets. If you just search in Google, best crypto trading platforms. Actually, in Google, I think I'm still outranked because some of the guys talking about this topic are Investopedia, CoinMarketCap, Gemini, Binance, Coinbase. So it's really hard to rank with these guys up there. But if you be specific, like I wrote this post about best crypto trading apps in Uganda. In that case, you might be able to find the actual blog post. Yeah, and also my video on the best crypto trading platforms. I think we need to delete this video. Yes, King Don. What is your favorite crypto wallet, King Don? Or do you have any questions related to crypto? Please send through your questions. Oh, and by the way, I don't know. On TikTok, I find people tapping the screen and whatever. I don't know if it applies to. I don't know if it applies to YouTube. I've never had anything like a map in crypto. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks for saying hi. Thanks for taking the time to drop by. I really appreciate it. Yeah, you can ask questions related to crypto, as you can see in the. I think the video says it clearly. Yeah, my title of the live says it clearly. I'm answering all crypto related questions. So if you're asking about a map, I've never had anything like a map in crypto. I'm sorry. Yeah, so questions related to. Okay, so if you don't know about crypto and if are interested in learning about it, you can check out my website mugabeimran.com. There's an introductory post about that. So that's King Don. So King Don, I think needs the basics. Let's look for King Don. No problem. Just let's check back maybe later. I will have the link shared in the comments section. We're still here for a while. We'll be here for a while. Let me see. I think we're gonna be here for about 3 hours. I don't know if that's gonna be possible, but crypto. We'll do our best. Let me share this with. Okay, thanks for liking the video. I guess that's how they tap the screen here on YouTube. I didn't know. It's probably my first time to be live on the vertical. Usually I'm live sharing the screen and showing you stuff, taking you through some tutorials. So anyways, that's the post. That's the post if you want to learn more about cryptocurrency. That's our topic for today. So crypto wallet, sorry, yeah, with crypto trading platforms. That's the video. That's the YouTube video. So who else has questions? And what is your favorite crypto wallet? If you don't have questions, I will ask mine. Let's move on. Let's move on. Okay, yes, King Don, welcome back. That's the link up there. What is crypto? You can begin from there. And after reviewing the post, if you still have questions, you can come back here. Let me get my charger ready because it seems like we are gonna be let me see if we are gonna be charging let's hope that will hold up for a few hours that we are gonna be here. Yeah, so you said you wanted to learn about crypto, so I sent you a link up there. What is crypto? So I guess you want me to take you through the whole. Let me check it out. Let me check it out. Perhaps I can share a few things to help you get started. So if you're just getting started and you know nothing about crypto, just know it's a form of money, but it works on the internet. That's like the simplest description. A form of money that completely works on the internet. Let's begin from there. So here is another thing: the power of cryptocurrency. You see, if you have let's say we have talked about the crypto wallets, right? So crypto wallet is where you're going to store your crypto. But crypto is not just money. It also has like more powerful features. Besides the money part, besides it having value that can be used as money, it has like the power to be used for different things. Now, for example, we can talk about the crypto without talking about the blockchain. So blockchain is the technology behind the crypto, and blockchain is what allows the crypto to function. So without the blockchain network, no crypto. So the blockchain is just a connection of different computers. Okay, it's the connection of different computers. That's the power that runs the cryptocurrency. And what makes this crypto special is that it's not centered, or it's not governed, or it's not managed by one person or one country or one big factory. No, it's managed by different computers around the world. So that's the blockchain network. Okay, so that's the network of the computers that's running there. This type of money or this type of technology. Blockchain technology, blockchain network running the cryptocurrency. So cryptocurrency also can be called like digital currency. So there's much to talk about here, but for the basics, once you understand blockchain and you understand that crypto is a form of money, and then we can move forward to what other things the blockchain can do. Okay, so let's talk about I'm sure you have heard of the Bitcoin. So Bitcoin was the first blockchain network that was created. So from Bitcoin blockchain network, yeah, it was created, but it was limited to how much it can do. So later on, something else has been created, or other blockchains, many other blockchain networks have been created. One called Ethereum blockchain, and you probably have heard of Solana blockchain, and many others. So what makes Ethereum blockchain different is it also enables applications. It enables apps to be run on its surface or on its blockchain. So the Bitcoin blockchain was a bit limited just to money and transfers, but here these days there's a way they have modified it to allow apps on the Bitcoin blockchain. I'm not sure if that's true. Maybe it is. Yeah, so that's the difference right now. So the first blockchain, the Bitcoin blockchain, couldn't allow those developments, the mobile apps to be run on the blockchain. So by the way, you probably have heard of something called decentralized. So these applications that are running on the blockchain network are called the decentralized apps because they are running on the decentralized network. The decentralized network is the blockchain network, and it's called decentralized because, as I mentioned earlier, it's not connected to one person. It's not centralized into one power. It's not centralized or managed or governed by one person or one factory or one country. Or no, it's governed or it's managed by a group of computers connected to each other. That's where the network comes in, the blockchain network. Okay. So because it's not centered to one place, that's where the decentralization comes in. So these apps that are running on the decentralized network are called the decentralized apps. And by the way, the crypto wallets that we have mentioned earlier, crypto wallets, those are also decentralized apps. So let's talk about there's some terms that are a bit complex, but you still need to understand them. So this one is called consensus. So how can I explain this? Consensus is like, let's say, the way the blockchain operates. Okay. So the Bitcoin blockchain had a consensus mechanism that was called proof of work, right? So proof of work meant that the usually you see blockchain gives us like the power of for me I call it the power to print money. I call it the license to print money because it allows you to actually print or make your own money. You ask me how? Use what we call mining softwares and mining equipment. So when you go back to what I've just been talking about, the proof of work, what it meant is you have a computer and you can connect it to this blockchain network. And, there's also something called the pool. So the pool is the network of the people who are connected to that mining software. Okay. So the person with the most power of the computer, the person who is able to help with the network, help the network run, the person with the most power on the network gets the most proof of work and also gets the most rewards through this consensus mechanism called proof of work. So that's what proof of work means. It means it's part of the it's part of the process how the blockchain works. It's proof of work. Now I mentioned earlier other blockchains were introduced later, like the Ethereum blockchain. So Ethereum blockchain came in with also proof of work, but later they have introduced something called proof of stake. So here's the thing. You see, at first when Bitcoin was introduced, like in 2009, you could be able to mine. Mining, I told you, is like printing your own money through the blockchain. So you're printing cryptocurrency through the blockchain via the pools. I told you the pools is like the network of people who are connected to the blockchain, but they are trying to help the mechanism. Okay, they are trying to help with the running of the network. So they connect their computers, and that's the you call that the pool. You connect your computer to the network. Okay. So cryptocurrency is running on. I really don't want to mention those. There are some terms that probably will get you confused. Maybe not. But there is something called cryptography. So cryptography is also part of how this cryptocurrency works. Okay, so it's like it comes from the word encrypted. Okay, so it's there is a way it's encrypted so that you can't just come in and edit the values of the money being transferred. You can't just hack into it. It's encrypted, and that's why it's called cryptocurrency. It's encrypted in some way. Okay, so with this encryption, remember there's also something where there's encryption, there's also decryption, right? So if something is encrypted, you need to have like a key to decrypt it or something. Okay, so people connected to the pools, to the blockchain network, and are helping the network to run. So they are using this consensus mechanism. Like, by the way, the consensus mechanism we have like the proof of work, which I've just explained. You use your own computer to try to help the blockchain run, and in return you earn a small reward based on the power of your contribution, or let's say in this case the power of your computer. Okay, so that's one way, but there's also something called proof of stake, and there's also so proof of work and proof of stake. Okay, so um, we talked about the encryption and the decryption. So the decryption comes in whereby you are connected the miners. Mining is the process of the people who are connected to the pool. That's the process they go through to earn that reward based on the power of their computer and based on the amount of their contribution. So that's the process they go through. It's called mining. Okay, so you connect to a pool to start mining your crypto. Okay, so the pool the pool is based on which blockchain network. Okay, hope you are getting me. If you have any questions so far, feel free to leave them below before we proceed to proof of stake. Okay, proof of stake. Sorry about this. No questions so far? Have you got, are you now okay with the question what is crypto? My friend Kingdom, can we move to the next one? By the way, I hope you have opened up that blog post that I've shared in the comments. Can use it as reference because whatever I'm talking about here is in the post. So no questions? No questions so far? Are you okay with proceeding? We move to the move to what we call okay. Now that you know what crypto is and you know how crypto works through what we have said. So by the way, I think I did I've been explaining proof of work. I hope you have understood that. So I guess we can move on to proof of stake, right? Now proof of stake is a consensus mechanism. I can't say consensus mechanism because I've already explained what that is, right? So proof of stake is another consensus mechanism that was introduced later. And why? Because, as I said, proof of work requires like computer power, right? Computer power. So the difference with proof of stake is that you don't need to have like you don't need to connect to the pole, the mining pole. You just need to have some of the part of that token which you want to mine in your wallet. That's all you need. So let's say you want to mine crypto, you want to mine Ethereum. You just need to have Ethereum in your wallet, and then you can do what we call staking. So staking is getting part of the crypto that you have in your wallet and giving it away to the blockchain network for them to help it operate. Just like I said earlier. By the way, Kingdom, are you already subscribed to our channel? Mm. If you're not, you should probably do that before we proceed. Before we proceed, you should do that right away. So we were saying proof of stake is connected to the amount of crypto that you have in your wallet. You simply give it away to help the blockchain run. Just like we mentioned earlier with proof of work, that it works in a way that you need to put or to dedicate amount of your power or of your computer, the machine that you have. You dedicate the power to the blockchain to help the blockchain run, and in return you get a reward, okay, depending on the power or the contribution to the blockchain network. So this applies with also the proof of stake. You give away a part of your holding to the blockchain to help it run, and you get a reward in return. So that's what we call staking. So that's the new mechanism, okay? The new consensus mechanism that is used, and it's because the first mechanism, the proof of work, requires a lot of power right now. Now, as I was explaining earlier, in 2009, when the Bitcoin blockchain was introduced, you could simply use your laptop to mine crypto, and you could get like high rewards. But there's something called difficulty. So year by year, the mining difficulty has been uh, increasing year by year. So this difficulty has reached a time whereby you cannot mine your laptop anymore. And it reached a time whereby you had to combine like multiple laptops to have some power to mine and get some rewards. And it also reached a time whereby even if you combine all those computers that you have at home, you still can't get almost any reward. Now it has reached a time whereby they have created like actual mining equipment to be used. Okay, they call them miners. Okay, you can check out the website. One of the websites that sells these miners is called bitmain.com. I think I've shared all those in the link that I've shared with you. You can find them there. Okay, so that's the mining equipment right now that is used. The miners, and these are specific computers or specific equipment used for connecting to the mining poles in order to get some reward. Otherwise, it's very difficult to get a reward from the blockchain right now, given the difficulty level. Are you still with me? Or are you lost? If you have questions, please, it's time to ask them before we get into more detailed stuff. Okay, so can we continue? Or do you have questions? If you don't have questions, I have mine up there. What's your favorite crypto wallet? Now, for those who don't know about crypto wallets, we are getting to that in a moment. We have just been talking about the basics of crypto, the blockchain network. And we have mentioned we have different blockchain networks that have been introduced with time or with years. We also have the Solana blockchain right now. We have the Polygon blockchain network. We have the Optimism blockchain. We have very many of them. I'll be mentioning them as we move. As I said, we are still here for a while. So if you have questions, Okay, we have a like. You find I have a like. This one is called Singalaka. Okay, it's called Gamba. Gamba. Thanks for joining. And if you have questions about crypto, please ask away. Ask away, ask away. Ask away, ask away. Can we move on? Okay, I guess we should. So, besides blockchain being just a network, uh, it's also a ledger. Okay, so when you say a ledger, it's like a record where all the transactions are recorded. Okay, so if we talk about, if we relate this to the traditional way, the banks have their books of records. Maybe in the computers they record all that stuff. Now the blockchain is where the transactions on the networks, on all the blockchain networks, are recorded. Okay, so it acts like a record for these transactions. And there's something called uh, what what we can, I don't know, what can we call this? Um, so it's called tracking. Okay, something called tracking. So you can be able to track your transactions. Okay, but you can also track someone's transaction if you know their wallet address. So these transactions, since they are recorded in the blockchain, and we also mentioned earlier that the blockchain can be edited. Okay, it's encrypted, and this level of encryption is very high. So each blockchain network, as I mentioned, we have very many of them: the Polygon, the Bitcoin, the Ethereum, the Solana, Optimism network. So all these, they have a place where you can track the transactions. You simply put in your wallet address and you can see the transactions that have been moving. You can also track the transactions per second that are taking place on that specific blockchain network. So you can see each second, you can see the transactions that are taking place on the network using those tracking websites. So each, as I said, each network has its own place or its own. So that one is called Fame Bazaars. Thanks for dropping by, Fame Bazaars. So that's also one of the other features of the blockchain. Okay, we said one, it allows you to mine crypto, and we said it also allows you, it also records the crypto what transactions that take place on the blockchain network. So I guess it's time to talk about the crypto wallets, because this is where everything is stored. And this is where everything takes place, right? So let's start with defining what the crypto wallet is. So just like the word wallet, the crypto wallet allows you to store your crypto. First of all, you store your assets. It's not just the crypto. Now we mentioned about the decentralized apps, and we have decentralized exchanges, and the exchanges is where you go if you want to buy or sell your crypto or any other digital asset. So you have exchanges called marketplaces, whereby we have NFT marketplace. By the way, everything that we are mentioning here, we have talked about on the YouTube channel. You can go back on the channel and search for videos. For example, NFTs, you can simply search for NFT within the YouTube channel. There is two types of search on the YouTube. There is a search that searches the general YouTube, but also when you go into a specific channel, there is also a search that searches within the channel, the videos in the channel. So when you go to our channel, there is a small search there that will search specifically from the videos in the channel. So now we are talking about the crypto wallets, right? And we are saying, besides the crypto itself, the coins, we have other digital assets, NFTs, non-fungible tokens. Now these are items. Okay, can be any item, physical or digital item. You can turn it into a non-fungible token. So what it means is it cannot be non-fungible, means it can be like exchanged for another item, unless, because and the part of the token is where it is what allows it to operate on the blockchain, the token. And the non-fungible part, maybe we talked about we should talk about the non-fungible tokens a little bit later. For now, we should focus on the wallets and a few other digital assets, because non-fungible token is a bit advanced for your level, if especially if you are just beginning in the crypto, if you're just starting out. Okay, so Faizan Khan, thanks for dropping by. Faizan Khan, if you have questions or if you have an answer to my question, what is your favorite crypto wallet? Mm-hmm. Do you have an answer for us? Mm. So my friend King Don is here with me, and we are trying to talk about the digital currency. So in this case, we are talking about the storage. We have already talked about the basics, and now we are talking about the storage. Storing your digital assets or your crypto. You need a crypto wallet. Okay. So crypto wallet. for storing your digital assets. But also you should know, as I mentioned, we have different blockchain networks, which means depending on the blockchain network that you are using, you need to have a wallet that supports that specific blockchain network. So here's the thing. Someone earlier mentioned about Trust Wallet. That was Yuri Evan, right? Yeah, Yuri Evan mentioned the Trust Wallet and the live here. So Yuri Evan is best of favorite wallet is Trust Wallet. So here's the thing, and I think I've already mentioned this. We talked about the Trust Wallet a little bit for a few minutes with Yuri Evan, and I said among the features, or among the things that make Trust Wallet one of the best wallets out there is is what we call the multi-chain. For the power or the ability to be able to connect to different blockchain networks. Okay, so it can connect to Bitcoin blockchain network, it can connect to Ethereum blockchain, Polygon blockchain, everything, all the blockchain networks in one wallet. So that's what we call multi-chain. So right now we have multi-chain wallets. Okay, so in order for you to be able to use the crypto wallets, there's something that's going to be created for you, which is called the address. So this address is like a storage. Or let's say you have a mobile phone number and you want to send someone money, or you want to receive money from someone. They probably ask for your phone number. Sometimes if it's going to be sent through bank account, they ask for your bank account number. So in this case, in the crypto world, we use what we call a wallet address. Okay, so the wallet address is what you send to someone in order to receive any type of crypto or any type of digital asset. So the wallet address is what you're going to receive after creating your wallet. Now, as I said, I have tutorials here for you if you want to learn how to create a crypto wallet for different platforms. We have one for Coinbase, we have one for Binance, we have one for MetaMask, and I think many more. I think recently we created one for. Recently we talked about the Exodus wallet. Yeah, but as you have heard with Yuri Evan, Yuri Evan said his best crypto wallet is Trust Wallet. Okay, so when you are creating this crypto wallet, there is something called um, because if you are creating let's first go back to the traditional way. Let's talk about, let's say, mobile number, right? If it's a mobile number and you're moving money through there, you get like a pin, right? Which also applies to a bank account number. You get like a pin, which is like your secret code. You get secret number or pin number for you to enter in whenever you want to access your funds. You get me? So um when you take this back to the crypto world, when we take this back to the blockchain network or the crypto world or the crypto wallet, this is something called the key phrase that's going to be created for you. Key phrase. It's a 12 word, uh, 12 words, and you use this as your PIN number to enter your wallet. Now, here is something that's very important for you to note. This crypto wallet key phrase is not accessible, or it's not retrievable from the blockchain network that you are dealing with, or from the wallet. No, it's not. So once you get this key phrase, you need to store it somewhere. Okay. These days, these crypto wallets have created a backup option whereby you can back up this key phrase to your Google account. Okay, there's option in some wallets, but you still need to probably write it down and maybe store this paper somewhere safe. Or if you don't write it down, you keep it in digitally in your computer. But the point here is that if someone gets to know your key phrase, they can be able to access your funds. And if you happen to lose your key phrase, there is no way to get back into in your wallet to see your funds, because it's not retrievable. It's not known by the people who have given you the wallet. It's not known by any blockchain. If you lose this key phrase, your crypto is gone. There's no way to get it back. Okay, so that's the very important part, or what that you need to note about the crypto wallets. Okay. All right. Tell me if you are ready to proceed. Otherwise, if you have a question, this would be the best time for you to ask it before we go on. Because so far we have talked about the blockchain, the basics of the blockchain network. We've talked about the crypto wallets. We have described for you what crypto is and how to get it. Yeah, we've talked about the mining, the consensus mechanism, like proof of work, proof of stake, and we have also talked about the different blockchain networks, like the Bitcoin blockchain, Ethereum, Polygon, the Optimism network, very many of them. Sorry about the background noise. So let's I'm suppose you don't have any questions right now. We can proceed, right? If you have questions, please. So we have also talked about crypto mining, which is a process, or for me I call it the license to print money. Okay, so that's the mining. Okay, so earlier on we mentioned decentralized apps, and in short, the short form for that is DEX, decentralized sorry, DApps is decentralized apps. DEX is decentralized exchange. So we said the exchange is the place where you go if you want to buy or sell your crypto or your digital assets. That's the exchange. So the dApps, decentralized apps, are the apps that are running on the blockchain network, especially the Ethereum network, because we said the Ethereum was built in a way that it allows for apps to be run on the surface or on its blockchain. So that's the power of the Ethereum blockchain, compared to the Bitcoin blockchain, which didn't have that kind of feature. But I heard these days there's a way they have modified the Bitcoin blockchain to also allow for applications to be run onto its blockchain. So decentralized apps how do these work? Okay, how do these work? And by the way, I think there is a way to liking the live so that it's being pushed to many other people. And if you guys haven't subscribed yet, you should definitely do that before we proceed. So there's something called the smart contracts. I feel like I'm giving you a lot of things in a very short time. Hmm? But if you have scrolled through the comments section, you should be able to find the link to what is crypto. So this link, okay, there's yeah, this link takes you to the website, my official website at mugabeimran.com, and from there you should be able to follow along, because whatever I'm talking about here is within that blog post. All right. So let's talk about smart contracts, right? So the smart contracts. Earlier we talked about the blockchain, and we talked about consensus mechanism, and we said consensus mechanism is a way is one of the ways of operating on the blockchain. How the blockchain operates. It operates on different consensus mechanisms, like proof of stake and proof of work. So when you talk about the smart contracts, the smart contracts, they help with the running of the decentralized apps. That's how these are just programs. They are written like in code. Now, if you know a little bit about the programming languages, for example, the PHP, JavaScript, HTML, CSS, those programming languages. Now, when we come back to the crypto, the blockchain world, those ones don't apply here. Maybe JavaScript a little bit, but the actual programming language that is used in the blockchain network is called Solidity language. So Solidity is what is powering the smart contracts. It's the code behind the smart contracts that are running the decentralized apps. That's the Solidity. Okay. So Solidity is the programming language on the blockchain network that is responsible for the running of the smart contracts. Okay. So again, the smart contracts are the ones that are behind what we call the decentralized apps, right? The dApps. And the decentralized apps are including what we call the decentralized exchanges. And the decentralized exchanges, we said, that's the place where you go if you want to exchange or to buy or sell any digital asset. Now, the decentralized exchanges are also categorized in a way that there is one which is for exchanging NFTs. Again, as I said earlier, NFTs are a little bit advanced, so I guess we shall talk about NFTs later. Okay, maybe in a few minutes. Let's first talk about the basics. So, the basics of decentralized apps. You see, even these crypto wallets that we have been talking about, they are also decentralized apps. Okay, and there's let's talk about. So decentralized apps, they operate on the network, the peer. There's something I've not yet had it mentioned, but it's also very important to mention. It's called peer to peer. So peer to peer means from person to person, and that's something I also mentioned earlier when I was explaining the blockchain network. I said it's a network that's connecting from one person's computer to another person's computer. But these computers, they are not like in one place. One might be here, maybe one might be in Africa, another one is like in Europe, another one is like in the US, another one in China. So all these computers, they are operating together to form what we call the blockchain network. Okay, so that's what we call the peer-to-peer network. So these decentralized apps, they are operating on the blockchain or the peer-to-peer network. So the blockchain can also be referred as the peer-to-peer network. All right. So we said the Ethereum network is what powers these decentralized apps and smart contracts. All right. Hope you are following. If you have questions, you can ask them before we proceed. My question is still up there. What is your favorite crypto wallet? If you guys know about crypto wallets, if you don't, I have just explained that. If you want to learn more, you can check out that link in the comment section. I've shared the link which says what is crypto. All right. So I've basically given you everything that you need as the basics of cryptocurrency. Like just now we have talked about the smart contracts, which are the apps that are running on the blockchain. And earlier on, I explained the blockchain, and I also explained what's cryptocurrency. All right. So the blockchain network, I've explained that. I've explained mining. I've explained other consensus mechanism or other simplest way to say it is like what is powering the blockchain. These are the consensus mechanisms. That's what's powering the blockchain network. So I think we should now move on to something else. Now that you know what the dApps are, okay. All right. So dApps, I've explained smart contracts, and I've said the smart contracts are what's powering the dApps or the decentralized apps. So within the decentralized apps, we have like many things there. I've given you some examples of those, and I mentioned about the decentralized exchanges. Now let me mention something else, which is one of my favorite. This is called the it's called the okay, a lot of things to mention here, but I think we should talk about play to earn, right? But before we talk about play to earn, we can talk about the metaverse. But we can't talk about the metaverse without talking about NFTs. Alright. So in this case, let's first talk about NFTs. That's our next one. So if you have questions before we proceed, give your questions. Take a sip of water here. No questions? Alright, then I guess we proceed. I guess we proceed. So we proceed with the NFTs, which is short for non-fungible tokens. So we have talked about, I have a video. Sempe Wana Ims is here. Yes, Sempe Wana. Yeah. But we are in English here, my friend Sempe. Yeah, we are in some English here. So we are talking about cryptocurrency, and at this stage we are talking about NFTs. Let me get for you. You should refer to the link that I shared earlier to get to the basics, learn the basics of crypto. Right now we have reached at the level of talking about NFTs. So unfortunately, I think I don't have a blog post specifically for NFTs, but that's coming up very soon. So right now what we have is a blog post about crypto, about blockchain. Okay, so blockchain network, and that will give you the basics of NFTs. Okay, so NFTs, as I said earlier, they are items. So it can be a physical or a digital item. It can be converted into an NFT, non-fungible tokens. Okay. Simple one. Do you have your favorite crypto wallet? And you can share with us your answer. Otherwise, you can ask your question about crypto. Any question that you might have. Any question about crypto, and I'll have your answer. So, introduction to blockchain. Let me share this as well. Introduction to blockchain network or blockchain technology. So this is so that link I've just shared with you is what you're going to follow. It will take you straight to the website at mgawiimran.com, where you can learn more about the basics of the blockchain network. Alright, so let's start with Of course, we have already talked about the blockchain network and said it's a collection or it's a network of computers from different places worldwide. And we said we talked about the decentralization part where it comes in. Now there's something called Web3, which I think we should also talk about before we proceed to NFTs. So here's the thing they say: this is the evolution of the web when we talk about Web3. So they say that the first version of the web, let's say Web 0.1 or Web 0.0. Okay. Okay, let's call it Web 1.0. That's the first version, Web 1.0. So you see that the first version of the web was the one whereby you just simply see the text on the screen and nothing much you can do. Okay, you just see a website like that. There's nothing much you can do with the website. It's Web 1.0. And then they mention, that's what web 1.0. They mentioned number 2, Web 2.0. Now this is the version of the web whereby you can be able to at least interact and do something. For example, the first version, just text on the screen. The second version, Web 2.0, whereby you have some photos. You can maybe interact with the photos. You can also interact with maybe the posts, okay, by tapping like the like and maybe sharing. Now here comes the other version of web, which is Web 3.0. Now with Web 3.0, you actually you're actually into the web yourself and you can do a lot of stuff there. For example, there's something called the avatars. They are already in Facebook, they are already almost everywhere. The avatars. So you have your own version in the web. Okay? So you are there, like you are participating in the web. Yourself, you are participating in the web, which is the third version, Web 3.0. So that's the power of the Web 3.0, which we are going to talk about right now. Okay. So this is by the way where the metaverse comes in, but it's also a little bit advanced. So let's take it slowly. Let's take it slow. Okay. So let's take an example of gaming, right? Now it could be, let's say Web 1 is where you see the games, they are like in 2D, there's nothing much you could do. And then you have Web 2.0 whereby you can play the game, but now Web 3 is whereby you are actually into the game, you are inside the game using the avatar. Alright, so that's the power of non-fungible token. That's where the NFTs come in. Okay, so the NFTs are the items that are in the metaverse. So the metaverse is like a world of Web3, and we said Web3 allows you to actually be into it, to be there inside the web. So in the example of the gaming, we have like your character, your own character is inside the game playing there. Okay, which is if you compare it to the first versions of the games whereby you couldn't actually be inside the game. Okay, but now you can be inside the game using your own avatar. So that's the power of NFTs. So the NFTs, the non-fungible tokens, is what allows you to be inside it. So here are types of NFTs. Of course, I already mentioned NFTs can be physical or digital. It can be a photo, it can be like a house, can it can be like a car, it can be anything, physical or digital. So in our case of, let's say, gaming world, because we are trying to talk about what we call play to earn, P2E. So we can't talk about play to earn without talking about the metaverse, and we can't talk about the metaverse without talking about NFTs. So the NFTs are what is inside the metaverse. All right. So the NFTs can be like your own self, like the avatar. It can, that's one example, one very good example of an NFT, non-fungible token. Yourself in a game, like your avatar in the game, and maybe if you do paintings, you can turn your painting into an NFT, and it's inside the blockchain. Okay. And what other example can I give you? It can even be a document, but this time you turn it into an NFT. Now, since we said that the blockchain network has a future or the power of encryption, it has that level of encryption whereby it's not easily turned, or it's not easily editable. Someone cannot just come in and edit it, or someone cannot just come in and hack into it. Since it's not like in one center, the blockchain is a network of different computers from around the world. So even if someone manages to hack a few of the computers, these other computers are not yet hacked. So they haven't yet penetrated into it, into the blockchain network. So it's very difficult to penetrate or to hack into. Okay. So which means people are creating maybe like documents, and they are turning them into NFTs. Okay. So this gives them or this gives them the power or the benefits of that encryption, so that their documents can be encrypted in a way that they cannot be edited. Okay. And here, this is also one of the ways that companies have employed, like to store data, okay, and also identity, so that they can avoid like fraud and all that type of stuff. Okay, so do you guys have any question so far? Any questions so far? So we talked about decentralized exchange, decentralized apps, but there's also something called decentralized organizations or decentralized autonomous organizations, DAOs. So that's simply like maybe a company, but it's managed by people on the blockchain, managed by people from different places around the world. That's the decentralized autonomous organization. So you already talked about mining and so on. Yeah, I actually have that blog post which I was talking about the NFTs. I thought I didn't, but I do have it actually. So let me share something else here. What is the metaverse? Now that's, I think that post should have come in after we talked about the NFTs. So before we talk about the metaverse, let me first share what are NFTs. Okay, so before you read through the post for what is the metaverse, you should definitely first read through what is NFTs. Because as I mentioned, in the metaverse is made up of NFTs. So the metaverse is a virtual world, right? And in the world, you have things like houses, things like people, things like trees. All those are in the metaverse by the power of NFTs, non-fungible tokens. All right. So let's say how you have a skill for modeling 3D objects. You can simply model a car, model a person or character for a game, model whatever else you might think of that needs to go into the world. So that's the NFTs. So once you finish modeling this, there are softwares that can allow you to turn it into an NFT. For example, the platforms like Rarible, like OpenSea, which you probably already know. OpenSea is one of the biggest NFT marketplaces. So places like those, they allow you to create what you call an NFT collection. We can, instead of collection is like many of them, many NFTs in one package. But instead of a package, you can simply create one by one. So that's NFT. So those are the objects or items that are in the metaverse, right? NFTs. Yes, we should move on. Guess we should move on. And by the way, Binance also introduced their NFT marketplace. That's like many other platforms have done, like Coinbase NFT. So let's talk about I think let's talk about this is I think this is something we should probably discuss some other time. I feel like a lot of advanced, and I must admit, yeah, coming to 2 hours right here, and I think I need to take a small break. But for now, I think we should have questions coming through. Should have questions. coming through. Questions. Maybe we talk about this last thing here. We already talked about the crypto exchanges, whereby where you go if you want to buy or sell your crypto exchanges, right? But before we buy or sell, how do you get your crypto actually in the wallet? So here are two options, maybe three. So the first one is using an exchange. Let's say like Binance. You logged in, you have an account with Binance, you have verified your ID, and you are allowed to buy or sell crypto. So before you are allowed to do that, you have to verify your ID. So this exchange, they have their own pool, or they have their own resources, or they have their own crypto within the exchange. So when you have an account and you are verified, they can allow you to buy direct from their exchange. So this is like Binance themselves selling you part of their coins, which is not the same as buying it directly from someone else. Okay, so this is called peer-to-peer. But this exchange probably be also part of peer-to-peer, because you're buying from a fellow person. Okay, so there is also another option whereby it's not supported by someone. It actually depends on your country. Okay, depends on your country and the regulations of crypto in that country. So for example, um, we have an option for buying crypto using mobile money right here in Uganda. Those are options that are available here, but you might find that in another country where you are, it's option of buying through a bank account. Okay, so if those two options are not available, if you can't buy from the exchange and you can't buy using mobile money, there are some options available like buying using credit or debit card. Now the last option is receiving crypto using your wallet address, maybe from someone else or from your own wallet. Send to yourself, send to your wallet. Okay, so I'm sorry about the background noise. So let's say I think you guys should be asking your questions because we are almost done here, and I believe we have covered every. I believe we have covered everything. I've shared with you all the links that you need. So you should probably have your questions coming through. I think we are planning to close this video here, and we are to open and begin from there, from metaverse. Can talk about metaverse in another video. Yeah, we can talk about the metaverse in another video, because that's a whole another world that we are talking about. No questions? Hmm. You mean you have no questions? Alright, so if you have no questions, I think we are going to end the live in let's say 7 minutes from now. But my question still stands there. What's your favorite wallet? What is your favorite crypto wallet? No questions, no questions. We go. We come back next time. Okay. Oh, by the way, don't forget, you guys don't forget to subscribe, of course. So let's talk about the metaverse in the next tutorial, the next video. For now, you should be able to use the links provided to learn more about crypto, how you can get started mining crypto, and things like that. Right? 5 more minutes. Let's say 4 more minutes to go. Still waiting for your questions, and then Okay, 3 minutes to go. All right, 1 minute to go. One minute to go. Questions? If you have questions for crypto, only have a few minutes to go, so drop your questions. Mine is up there. What's your favorite crypto wallet? If you have one, please share it with us. Otherwise, I would like to thank those who have joined in. We had King Don on the live, we had Yuri Evan on the live, we had Zen Effects, and Firdausi Sempewana Ames. Thanks for joining in. And the Fembazas Singalaka. All of you guys. See you next time. We're going to talk about the metaverse next time. So, and also if you have like a specific topic that you would like us to cover in the next stream, let us know, right? For now, we'll leave you to check out those links. Go to mugabeimran.com, the website, and you can learn more about the basics of the blockchain, crypto. You can also learn more about the other ways of making money online. And yeah, those are the links down there in the comments section. So, see you next time. We'll be talking about the metaverse. I think we have covered all the basics that you need to know. We have covered crypto wallets, we have covered the blockchain, we have covered basics of NFTs and so on. See you next time. Thanks so much for joining.